Hello and welcome to Brickmail. Today we're building the brand new 2026 LEGO Lando Norris Formula 1 helmet during a time lapse. We'll also talk about his early career in karting. That being said, let's go! From karting tracks to racing for McLaren in Formula 1, Lando's rise through the motorsport ladder was incredibly fast. Way before he was fighting for podiums and victories in Formula 1, he was dominating championships all across Europe and building a reputation for himself. Lando Norris was born on November 13, 1999 in Bristol, England. Like many future racing drivers, his passion for motorsport started at a young age. One of the biggest influences was his father, Adam Norris, who introduced him to racing through the video game Gran Turismo. It had started as a hobby but then quickly became something more than that. After watching motorsport and becoming fascinated with racing, Lando began karting at an age of 8. Almost immediately, people could see he had a natural talent behind the wheel. His very first national karting event ended with him taking pole position, an early sign of his talent. Like nearly every Formula 1 driver, Lando began his journey in karting. Between 2008 and 2011, he competed in several British karting championships, including the Super 1 National Championship and Formula Kart Stars. The results during these years slowly improved. In 2010, he finished third in the Super 1 National Championship. This championship has produced many successful racing drivers over the years, including future Formula 1 stars such as Jenson Button and Dave Coulthard, both Formula 1 world champions. By 2012, Norris had made a massive breakthrough, competing in Formula Kart Stars. He won the championship in the Mini-Max category, winning a national championship at such a young age put him firmly on the radar of people in motorsport. They now were looking at him. Many talented young drivers racing karting, but only a handful consistently win championships. Lando was beginning to show that he belonged in this elite group. The year 2013 was where Lando truly showed his talent. Competing in the highly competitive KF Junior category with Ricky Flynn Motorsport, Norris enjoyed one of the most successful seasons of any young karting driver in Europe. He won the WSK Euro Series, the FIA Junior Karting World Championship for Europe, and the FIA International Super Cup Junior category. These were some of the most prestigious karting championships in the world. At just 13 years old, Lando Norris had become one of the most talented and talked about young talents in motorsport. In 2013 was his breakthrough year. 2014 confirmed it. Moving into senior KF karting category, Norris faced older and more experienced drivers. This didn't really stop him. This more of encouraged him to do even better than he already was. In 2014, because of this, he won the FIA Karting World Championship. Even more impressive, he became the youngest driver to ever win that championship in his category. Norris handled everything perfectly. Everything thrown at him, he won. Winning a karting world championship is often seen as one of the biggest achievements available to a young driver. Before entering cars, at only 14 years old, Lando had already achieved something many racers spend their entire careers chasing, while still competing in karting. Norris also made his car racing debut in 2014. He entered the Ginetta Junior Championship, one of Britain's most popular junior racing categories. For many young drivers, moving from karts can be difficult because the cars are heavier, the braking zones are different, the cars completely act different around the turns, there's less sliding involved, and the racing style just completely changed. Bigger tracks, there's more bumping, yet Norris adapted to the tracks immediately. He won 4 races, secured 8 pole positions, and stood on the podium 11 times. By the end of the season, he finished 3rd in the championship standings and won the Rookie Cup. The transition from karting to cars could not have gone much better for the youngster. The next step in his career came in 2015. Lando joined Carlin Motorsport to compete in the newly created MSA Formula Championship, now known as British Formula 4. And this was his first full season in any open wheel racing, because before he did Ginetta and karting. The championship was massive. Open wheel cars are a lot faster and more aerodynamic than what he's used to in Ginetta and karting. It is a big step and there's a lot of pressure on him to do well there. It's also the first step to getting to Formula 1. Just like how he adapted to the Ginettas, He immediately adapted the F4 car. Throughout the season, he displayed consistency, he scored 8 race victories, and claimed 10 pole positions. He stood on the podium 14 times total. By the end of the year, he comfortably won the championship. He also competed in other places, such as the German ADAC Formula 4 Championship and the Italian Formula 4 Championship. Even against unfamiliar competition and tracks, he consistently stayed near the front and sometimes in the lead of the race. By the end of 2015, Norris had firmly established himself as one of the best young drivers in Europe. Many racing drivers have one breakthrough season. Lando Norris had multiple breakthrough seasons, and one of the most impressive junior seasons in recent history. In early 2016, he traveled to New Zealand to compete in the Toyota Racing Series. This championship has become famous for attracting some of the world's best young talents during the European winter. Norris dominated this series. He won 6 races, 8 pole positions, and 11 podiums, and he won the championship as a rookie. After returning to Europe, he immediately continued his success. It did not stop there. Competing in Formula Renault 2.0, Norris entered both Europe Cup Formula Renault 2.0 and the Formula Renault Northern European Cup. He won both of those championships as well after winning the New Zealand Toyota Racing Series. Across the 2 series, he secured 11 victories. In Northern European Cup, he achieved 10 consecutive pole positions, 16 pole positions total. Think about that for a moment. 10 straight pole positions. That level of speed and consistency is incredibly rare at any level in motorsport. At the same time, Norris also raced part-time in British Formula 3 and won 4 races there as well. That year, he had racked up an incredible 42 podiums and 21 victories. By the end of 2016, he had won multiple championships, won karting championships, Ginetta, he's gotten a P3 in, he's won Formula. At this point, his career is skyrocketing across different tracks and countries. Many motorsport experts began watching him as a future Formula 1 driver. They could sense the talent and consistency. He also had the determination. In 2017, Norris stepped his game up, and he was signed for a Formula 3 European Championship contract with Carlin. This championship was considered one of the best junior categories in the world. It's also the major stepping stone to getting into F1. Some of the people who were in Formula 3 include Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Esteban Ocon, and many others that competed at this level. The competition was extreme. Despite this, Norris immediately challenged for victories. Throughout the season, he achieved 9 race wins, 8 pole positions, and 20 podium finishes. His consistency was impeccable. Race after race, he had at the front. Eventually, he secured this championship with 2 races still remaining. 2 races left, and Lando Norris already won the championship. Winning Formula 3 in such a convincing way further strengthened his growing reputation. As Norris continued racing and winning championships, Formula 1 teams began paying attention. One team was really impressed with him, that being McLaren. The famous British Formula 1 team signed Norris to its junior driver program in 2017. This was a huge moment, showing all his hard work and dedication starting to pay off. McLaren saw him as one of the brightest young talents in motorsport. The team began preparing him for a future Formula 1 opportunity. Around this time, Norris competed in the Macau Grand Prix, one of the most famous races outside of Formula 1. The narrow street circuit has challenged some of the greatest drivers in history. After impressive performance, Norris finished 2nd overall. His accolades continue to rise. Late in 2017, Norris made his Formula 2 debut. Formula 2 is the final category right before Formula 1. He can see the door at this point to Formula 1. He's at the stepping stone. Success there often determines whether a driver receives an F1 opportunity or not. For 2018, Norris joined Carl for a full Formula 2 campaign. His season started perfectly. At the opening round in Bahrain, he secured pole position and won the feature race. He immediately became a championship contender throughout the season. He regularly challenged at the front, he got 9 podium finishes in the bag, and spent much of the year fighting for the championship lead. However, the season wasn't without difficulties. He had mechanical problems, he had to retire, and some challenging weekends, which allowed his main rival in the F2 championship, George Russell, now also a F1 driver, to gain momentum on him. By the end of the season, Russell won the title. Norris finished second overall. Although he didn't win the championship, his performance convinced McLaren that he was ready to be in F1. But before that, while competing in Formula 2, Norris had also gained valuable experience in endurance racing. He participated in the 24 Hours of Daytona. His teammates included Fernando Alonso, a two-time F1 world champion. For a young driver, starting career with a driver of Alonso's experience was an incredible learning opportunity. The team finished Daytona 13th overall. More importantly, Norris had gained experience racing different types of cars. During 2018, Norris began spending more time with McLaren. He participated in practice sessions, he tested Formula 1 machinery, he worked closely with engineers, and he learned how a modern Formula 1 team operates. And then came the announcement many fans had been waiting for. McLaren confirmed Lando Norris would race for the team in 2019 for the Formula 1 season. At just 19 years old, he had completed one of the most impressive junior careers in modern motorsport. From karting championship to Formula 4 championship. From Formula Renault championship to Formula 3 champion. From Formula 2 runner-up to Formula 1 driver. The next chapter would be his biggest yet. 2019 Formula 1 season. He was partnered with Carlos Sainz at McLaren. Expectations were high, but rookies often need to adapt. Norris impressed immediately. His qualifying speed was impeccable, very good. His race pace improved throughout the season. He regularly challenged more experienced drivers. By the end of his rookie campaign, he finished 11th in Drivers' Championship. More importantly, he had proven he belonged in Formula 1. With that being said, this voiceover is over. We will do a part 2 where we talk about Lando Norris's F1 career and how it has gone so far and what it is like building this Lego set. Please like and subscribe and enjoy the rest of the video.